Real quick, I want you to start on these three problems. We're going to go over them here in a minute. Have your homework laying out so I can check it.
We didn't have one.
I wasn't here last time.
You didn't give us one. We had math testing. You didn't give us.
The time from before that.
Oh, I need to do math testing.
Page 49.
Oh.
I have that.
I need to do that.
I know what I'm talking about some of the time.
Well, I didn't know.
Sometimes.
I plan things out.
Found it. Got it.
So have out page 49. We're going to go over it. Have it laying out there so I can check it here in just a minute. So page 49, problem 34. Watch, because I'm going to move quickly so that we can get through it. What's these tick marks on the side of that quadrilateral tell us? So if this side's 2x, what's this side?
2x.
2x, good. This is 2x minus 1. This is x. And they tell us that the perimeter of this shape is 41. What do we do with all those sides? Add them all up. How many x's do we have? 7. I'm real happy nobody said 4. I had that in every other class where they said there's 4 x's up there. Well, we're not counting the x's. We're counting how many x's there are algebraically. All right. Then you still got the minus 1 equals 41. So this plus this plus this plus this should equal the perimeter. Add 1 to both sides. Emma, you didn't just say you would said that, would you?
No, I looked at it and said I get it now.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Just took a minute.
Why?
Please be sure on the test come Monday. Is that our answer? No. Make sure you read the question carefully and answer what they want you to give, or give the answer that they want you to give. What did they ask us to find? How long is this side? This easy one. 6. This side? 12. This side? 12. This side? 11. Those are the 4 answers they wanted.
Please turn that fan on.
They give us a triangle. It's actually a right triangle, which means absolutely nothing to this problem. This is 6x minus 3, 8x plus 3, 6x plus 4, and they tell us the perimeter is 84. What are we going to do with all 3 of these again? Add them all up. How many x's we got? Don't say 3. 20. The negative 3 and the positive 3 cancel out, so what's the only regular number that's left? So plus 4 equals 84. Subtract 4, subtract 4. 20x equals 80. What's x equal? 4. Is that our answer? Plug in 6 times 4 plus 4. 28. That's one of the answers. 6 times 4 is 24 minus 3. 21. 8 times 4 plus 3. Those are our 3 answers. Next question. Which one, Corbin? 28. Problem 28. Watch carefully because it's going to take me a second. I'm going to sketch this up here real quick. To find the perimeter, if we're given coordinates, what formula are we going to have to use? Distance formulas. So make sure you can do that. 3, 0. Okay. 3, 0. I went too far. Negative 2, 12. Negative 10, negative 3. Don't go by what my shape looks like, 'cause it's probably not going to be drawn correctly. I'm sort of guessing. Negative 8, negative 12. Wait, what? Sorry. Negative 8, negative 12. It's going to be somewhere down here, right? Thank you.
Negative 2, negative 12.
Negative 2, negative 12, somewhere about there. So our shape, no, don't do that. Going to the point that I messed up. That's not in there. So it looks something like that. Now the easy side to find. What's special about this side? You need to know this on the test. It's flat, it's horizontal. You have to do distance formula on that one. Now all you got to do on that one is count. How far is it from negative 8 to negative 2? 6. So that side is 6 units long. Now all the rest of them, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to use the distance formula on each one, and I'm going to do it very, very quickly. So Brighton doesn't get so bored back there that he wants to continue to talk all the time. Negative 2 minus a negative 10 ends up being plus 10 squared, plus the y coordinates 12 minus a negative 3 ends up being 12 minus a negative 3, which is plus 3 squared. I'm going to do a lot of this in my head. Negative 2 plus 10 is 64. Or I'm sorry, it's 8, and 8 squared is 64. 12 plus 3 is 15. Squared is 225. Add those together and you get 289. What's the square root of 289? So what should you do? Don't say I don't know.
You should do the square.
Get a calculator out. 17. Make sure on Monday, or on Monday for you guys, that you bring a calculator. Don't count on the one on your tablet if it's not going to work. So that side's 17. We jump down to this side. Negative 10 minus a negative 8, that's going to be negative 10 plus 8 squared. Am I confusing anybody because I'm just switching the signs? You know it's always minus in there, right? But when you put a minus in and it's a negative as the second number, ends up being plus. Weston, is that confusing? Got it? Negative 3 minus a negative 12, so negative 3 plus 12 squared. That's negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 3 plus 12, that's what, 9 squared is 81. Somebody help me out, what's the square root of 85? That didn't come out even. I bet it's 9 point something. 9.2. So that's that side, that's that side. We got to come over here and do these two sides. Brittany was trying to ask about 26. Is this problem basically doing the same thing as 26 would have been doing? Yeah. You're just using this distance formula on each one. For these, negative 2 minus 3 squared plus 12 minus 0 squared. It's negative 5 squared is 25. 12 minus 0 is 12. Squared is 144. That's 169. When you add them together, what's the square root of 169? 13. And I'm just going to tell you if I do this, well, I'll do it. It's the same thing, isn't it? 3 minus a negative 2 means 3 plus 2 squared plus 0 minus a negative 12 means 0 plus 12 squared. That's 5. Squared is 25. 12 squared is 144, ends up being 169 again. Make sure you take the square root. All right, a lot of you forget that radical and then give the answer as 169. Make sure you don't forget to do that last step. What else do I still have to do on this problem? They wanted what? The total, the perimeter. 17 plus 13 is 30, 43, 52.2. That's our answer. Oh, I forgot. So 58.2. I forgot the 6 then. 58.2. So if you're trying to find the length and they give you coordinates, using the distance formula. If they give you coordinates and you're trying to find the midpoint, then what formula are you going to be using? Midpoint formula. Each time we take a test, I'll put something like this up here. Today is the 13th. Write it down. You might skip some space because we'll jot some stuff in there that goes along with it, because I just put a real quick overview of what was in the chapter, and then we'll add some other stuff in there to be a little more precise about what's going to be on the test. So I'll give you a minute, start copying this down, and then I'll start going over it. All right. You might want to jot some of this down as I do it. Refresh your memory, have it there to study from. How many letters to name a point? Letter. One letter. So one letter to name a point. How many to name a line? 2 letters. Remember to use the line symbol. You don't use symbols on this test. You write, they ask you what line does this, and you write AB out on the answer blank. It'll be marked wrong. How many letters to name an angle? 3 letters. Remember, use the angle symbol. It's a little angle. Some of the things I forgot here. Segment. How many letters to name a segment? 2. 2 letters. I'm not going to put ray up here. How many letters to name a ray? 2. Remember, for a segment, it's a segment symbol. For a ray, it's a little ray symbol. If I could ever draw it. And then the last thing was a plane. I'm going to tell you about this because I know something we're going to do here in a minute. Sometimes the book uses a different way to name a plane. We used one cursive letter when we were doing most of the stuff. You probably can't read that because I can't spell. One cursive letter. But the book sometimes uses 3 letters with no symbol. So if you see something like just ABC with no angle symbol out in front of it, then they're talking about a plane. Because remember we said, how many points does it take to make up a plane? 3. How many points does it take to make up a line? 2. We didn't talk about that a whole lot, but just in case. Precision, 2 steps for precision. Make sure you can remember how to do this. These aren't hard problems, just everybody had trouble with it. First step, take one of the smallest units. So if it's meters, then you take 1 meter. If it's quarters of an inch, then you take 1/4 of an inch. And then you times that by what? What do you times by? 0.5 or half. Segment lengths. I'm going to come out here and write this. For segment lengths, I'm just going to write this example in here because I know that there's problems like this on the test. It says Q is between R and S. So R goes here, Q goes, or S goes there. Q is somewhere in between. Does it have to be right in the middle? No, if it was in the middle, it'd be called the midpoint. So remember that, midpoint. Q's between R and S. If I know that this segment is X units long, this segment is Y units long, there won't be any problems with all these different letters on there. This one's Z units long. Tell me an equation I could set up to find X, Y, or Z, whichever variable they might be asking. X plus Y has to equal Z. This part plus this part has to equal the whole thing. Guaranteed, there's 2 or 3 problems on the test that you have to do that on. distance formula. I'm going to write the two formulas up here for you. Distance. Remember, that's that big long one. Notice when I write them up here, I am not putting in the little ones and twos because I'm being lazy. That's the distance formula if you're given coordinates on a coordinate system. X and Y coordinates, you're going to use that to find the length. Midpoint formula. Give you a second, make sure you got the distance formula down.
Teachers, you're now going on a lockdown. So students should purchase in their classrooms. Again, teachers, you're
Looks like this. X plus X divided by 2, Y plus Y divided by 2. Distance formula, how many answers are you going to have? 1. Midpoint formula, you're going to have 2. An X coordinate and a Y coordinate. So keep that straight in your head so that you know which one you're using and what your answer should come out to be.
So midpoint has 1.
Midpoint has 2. It has an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. That's why it's 2 separate things. Distance has 1 because it's just the length. Special angles, special pairs of angles. Shh. What's one special pair of angles that we talked about?
No, wait. Supplementary.
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 Slow down. What are supplementary angles?
180 degrees.
They add up to 180. Number 2,
Complementary.
complementary. What are complementary angles?
Add to the 90.
If I spell something wrong, just go with it. 'Cause I'm trying to hurry. They add up to be 90 degrees.
Adjacent.
Number 3, adjacent.
Share array.
They share a ray. They share a side. What's another name for them, maybe?
Linear, yeah.
Something else. How about neighbors? They're right next to each other. Number 4, vertical angles. Everybody watch closely on this one. Jacob's going to wake up here for a second and watch this. Vertical angles. What do you know about vertical angles? They're across from each other and
They equal the same.
they equal each other. I guarantee there's a problem on the test and it gives you something where it says angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. And then it gives you angle 1 is 5x plus 2. Angle 2 is 9x minus 3. Do you set those two expressions, this one plus this one equal to 180? No. Equal to 90? No. If they tell you they're vertical, then you set them equal to each other because they're congruent. Please don't forget that. I guarantee there's a major problem on the test that says these two are vertical angles. Well, you take this one, and you put an equal sign in between. And then you solve that. All right? What was the 5th one? Linear pair. Remember, a linear pair. Does that mean 2 lines? No, it means 2 angles that together form a line or make up a line. Linear pair looks like this. Got a line there. The 2 angles here are said to be a linear pair. Now, these 2 angles, not only are they a linear pair, what else are they? They're adjacent. What else? Supplementary. Be able to set up all those equations and stuff that we dealt with angles and be able to solve those. All right? Oh yeah, I forgot perpendicular. Jeez. Perpendicular, remember this is symbol for perpendicular. What's perpendicular mean? Right angles. Grab one of these papers up here. This time this is the paper you grabbed or that I passed out the other day when I passed out the wrong one. Grab a paper. That's your review for the test. Test on Tuesday. Yes. I think you go to intervention, don't you?
Yeah,
Some of you go to intervention, some of you go to lunch.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness.
Have a good weekend. Please make sure you study. Grab the review sheet before you take off.